Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, man. Welcome in, welcome in. This is the Cashed It with Chris NBA betting show slash podcast. I'm your boy Chris. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about, man. This is the gambling pod. This podcast is always presented to you guys by the Basketball Forever Podcast Network. Be sure to check out the Basketball Forever Podcast Network on all podcast streaming platforms. Also, check out this podcast. If you guys have been cashing with me, I would really appreciate you guys jumping on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you download your podcast at, wherever you listen to your podcast at, and leaving a review, man. Leaving a positive review, a 5-star review would be helpful, and I appreciate that as always. And if you guys are just enjoying the general content, not even from a betting perspective, but if you enjoy listening and digesting and processing all this content, man, be sure to hit the like button for me if you guys can, as well as you pop in and join the show. We quick recap as we do always. We had a 2-1 day yesterday with the Chicago and Detroit total going just a tad bit over. I'm not sure if people watched the end of that game, but it was stuck at 224 for a while, and then Jaden Ivey ended up calling a timeout with no timeouts being left. And Levine shot a free throw, and then they fouled DeRozan. DeRozan hit 2 free throws, and then I think it was Corey Joseph who shot a 3-pointer off the backboard and ended up getting like 232 points, but definitely supposed to stay under. That game went over. We got the best of the number yesterday because we got it live, but sometimes we're gonna lose, man. I didn't like that loss. I really thought we were gonna win that one. The Knicks cash for us minus the 7.5. I talked about that being my best bet yesterday. Rolled with the Knicks and got some cash with them yesterday, and then also cashed on the Lakers. I gave them out before AD went out, and I talked about that being a must-win game. I took them plus the 1, and I took them minus the 1.5, and that cash as well. So 2-1 day yesterday. After a 4-0 day, so 6-1 in the last 7 plays in the NBA. Seeing the board pretty clearly. Also talked about Desmond Bane 3-pointers last night. If anybody took that, I know Mitchell Robinson was a big play. His double-double at plus 280 on some books was another big play. So shout out to everybody that got some cash yesterday. And let's see if we can duplicate that today and find, a couple winners on the board. I will be fully honest and transparent with you guys before I start to break these games down that I don't really like a lot, man. It's not a lot that I like today. Don't like the slate as much as I like the slate yesterday. So I'm not going to force anything, and maybe I'll try to find some player props because I didn't get a chance to look into the player prop market just yet. So here's what we have for today. First game I want to talk about is the Toronto Raptors traveling to Washington to host where the Washington Wizards will be hosting them tonight. This game opened last night. I saw Toronto as a -1. It's at a pick at some books, and then most books don't even have a line yet. Really, really difficult to do a show when you don't have a line. And I'll kind of break down each one of these games because I'm being honest with you guys. I don't have a play. I haven't placed a single bet yet. But what I'll give you guys what I'm looking at that I'll probably end up playing. So when I do a recap, best bets will say pending because I just don't like the slate a lot. But I'll talk about these games real quick. So Toronto, Washington. The best play I think in this game would be looking at fading the Raptors early and backing the Washington Wizards early. So first quarter spread, especially if you get a pick type game, the Raptors are losing the first quarter by about 3 points since February the 1st. They're just not a good first quarter team in road games. At home, they play better. But in road games, in the first quarter, this team is losing by an average of about 3 points per game. You look at the Wizards; they're one of the better first half teams. They typically fade in the second half. The Wizards are winning the first quarter by an average of 5 points first quarter by 5 points in home games since February 1st. So Porzingis has missed the last couple games. He is due to be back in this game. Monte Morris got an injection shot yesterday, so he's not going to play. And this team is an under team as well. So this could potentially be 3 plays in the same game. I'm telling you guys that I like the Wizards in the first quarter, potentially even in the first half, because you should be able to get them at a pick and just be able to play the money line. I think the Raptors do win the game, though. I think the Raptors are the better team. And you look at this Wizards team, the Wizards really play well when they play against teams that don't have a defensive first mentality. They went on the road in their last game against Atlanta and they beat the Atlanta Hawks as I forgot what dogs were they? They were 7.5 point dogs in that game against the Atlanta Hawks without Porzingis and without Monte Morris, and they ended up winning that game. But they struggle against teams that play defense. They just lost to the Chicago Bulls by 20. They lost to the Knicks by 6, but they beat the Timberwolves. They beat the Portland Trailblazers. The Blazers not playing much defense. They lost to Golden State. Golden State's defense has been picking it up. They beat the Indiana Pacers, who struggle to play defense. They beat the Charlotte Hornets, who struggle to play defense. They get smashed by Cleveland, right? They get smashed, well, not smashed, but they lose to Brooklyn. This was after the KD trade. So for me, I'm looking at the Washington Wizards, and what I see with this team is that they just really struggle against teams that can play defense. Fred VanVleet also, just had his. I think it was his son, had a son, and they won that game in his first game back at home against the Chicago Bulls in Toronto 2 nights ago. So Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby. To me, it's a Raptors and nothing spot, but I do think the Wizards may be able to. If the Wizards are going to do anything, it's going to be in the first quarter. I do expect the Raptors to win this game. I do expect the game to go under as well. You look at the totals in the last 4 games. They've all gone under between these two teams. These two teams have played only one time. Well, this is the first time this season that these teams have played. But just in the last 4 games, historically, all 4 games have gone under, and the totals have been set pretty low. You had a total of 218 points go under, 212.5 go under, 212 go under, and 223 go under. So we haven't seen a total yet in this game, but I do feel like it probably goes under. And like I said, I don't know what that total is going to be. The Wizards don't score a lot of points. And another thing that I looked at, without Monte Morris, him already being rolled out, the Wizards are 3-1-1 to the under in home games without Monte Morris. They're just not scoring a lot of points. We know the Raptors have picked it up defensively since they acquired Jakob Poeltl from San Antonio. The Raptors also have 3 straight unders in road games, total average of about 218 points in road games since February the 1st. So I don't want to stay too long on that game, but three plays in that game I will be looking at as the Wizards first quarter. Toronto, if you take them live, you'll probably get a better number, but I do think that they win the game, and I'm looking towards the under. So I haven't placed any of those, but those are my thoughts on that first game. The next game I want to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers. I really don't want to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers in Dallas Mavericks game because I'm not sure what Embiid's going to do, if he's going to play or not. And you see the spread moving towards Dallas. Looks like anyway. They're up to 4-point favorites. Philly is coming off the second leg of a back-to-back. Traveling from Miami to Dallas. They did get a win last night in a revenge spot against the Miami Heat. But like I said, I don't really want to talk about this game too much. We know that Dallas has, struggled to play defense. So I feel like if Embiid doesn't play, the total should go over. Dallas cannot guard anybody right now. I think even without, Joel Embiid being there, the total goes over is what I had written in my notes. Dallas just really struggles to stop anybody defensively. I know that they get Maxi Kleber back. The total is moving. It would open at 229. It's up to 230. I agree with the movement there as well. But I don't really want to talk about that game too much. Also, probably like a prop game. I got to figure out what I want to take in that game. Moving along to the Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs game. So what I got in my notes is the under, man. I got the under. The total is moving. It opened at 241. It's down to 238.5, down to 238 at some books as well. This is the game that could be a tricky under spot today. I know, neither one of these teams play a lot of defense. But when you start to look at it, the San Antonio Spurs, this is their first home game in probably about 2.5 weeks. They played 9 straight road games, the San Antonio Spurs did. And just the spot, it kind of correlates. It should be a letdown for the San Antonio Spurs, which isn't really saying much. This team, doesn't play well most of the times. Keldon Johnson also rolled his ankle towards the end of that game against the Utah Jazz in Utah 2 nights ago with about 2 minutes left. He's listed as questionable. Devin Vassell could be coming back, and if he does, he should be rusty. You look at the Spurs; they are 4-2 as a 4-2 to the under as a home dog of 4 points or less. So what I'm saying is that when the Spurs get a team that's coming in that's not great, and they're only predicted to lose by 4 points or less, They are 4-2 to the under, average of about 214 points in those games. They're also 7-4 to the under in February with a total of about 232 points. 229 points is the total if you subtract the overtime games for the San Antonio Spurs in the month of February as well. You look at this Pacers team, they're not typically, we know that the Pacers play well at home. They typically struggle on the road. The Pacers are 2-1 to the under as road favorites this year. It's only happened 3 times. In those games, they're averaging about 214 points. So all of those things kind of point to the under for me. I know a lot of people probably not going to like the under, but you do see money coming in on the under. Like I said, it opened at 241. It's already down to 239, 238 and a half at some books. So if you like the under, you might want to get on it early. Or you might want to get on it now. I haven't placed it yet, but that's the only way I'd be able to look in that game. Don't want to lay 4.5 points with the Indiana Pacers. But the San Antonio Spurs, I don't think that they're going to try to necessarily win this game. So will they win by 5? Will the Pacers win by 5? I'm not 100% sure. Don't really want to back them in this spot. And then the last game, real quick before I get out of here. The last game, the Clippers play the Golden State Warriors. Interesting game here. Both of these teams on the first leg of a back-to-back. The Clippers actually play in Sacramento. We know what just happened in that game last Friday. So the Clippers play the Golden State Warriors tonight. They play in Sacramento tomorrow. The Warriors, this is the first leg of a home back-to-back for them. I feel like the Warriors have played every game at home for the last 2 months. This team plays the Clippers tonight. Then they host the Pelicans tomorrow. To me, it feels more like I will also say this. The home team is 3-0 straight up and against the spread this season in these between the Warriors and the Clippers. However, Steph Curry is not there. I think he did play in the earlier game. The Warriors have gone under 4 straight times as well, and we don't have a total for this game. Well, yes, we do. We have a total of 235 points. Looks like it's come down to 234. I'm looking towards the under, man. I didn't even see the total. I'm looking towards the under. I figured it'd come out somewhere about 235, 236. I think this game goes under. Both teams have to save something, for the next game. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I'll be looking towards the under in this game, especially with the Clippers having to go to Sacramento, especially with Golden State, having to host the New Orleans Pelicans in the following game. So for those reasons, also because the Clippers are, they probably feel like they're in a desperation spot. You're probably not going to win tomorrow. If De'Aaron Fox gets ruled in, you're probably not going to win in Sacramento tomorrow. Is what I'm thinking anyway. So it does feel like a Clipper spot to me. You probably go ahead and try to get this win today. And you also should be playing with a sense of desperation, being that you haven't won a game since Westbrook joined the team, right? First 2 games went over. Last game against the Minnesota Timberwolves actually went under, but the Timberwolves actually slowed you down offensively and you couldn't score the ball. But the Clippers laying 3 here, it does feel like, especially in Golden State, it feels like a Clipper spot. The problem with that is Golden State, I don't bet against Golden State when they're a home dog. I've done it a couple times this year. Let's see. I know I did it against the Boston Celtics, and they smashed the Boston Celtics. And I can't remember the other team that was coming into town, but they smashed the other team too. It might have been the Cleveland Cavaliers or something. I can't remember. But we know one thing we know about Golden State is they play extremely, extremely tough when they're home dogs. So for those reasons, I do feel like the game goes under. That'll probably be my best look. Want to take the Clippers, but I can't get there. It feels like Clippers should win this game and lose tomorrow in Sacramento. Golden State should lose this game and win tomorrow at home against the Pelicans is what I'm thinking. But a lot of playoff implications because the Clippers are starting to slide. The Golden State Warriors have actually come up in the Western Conference. I think they're up to 6 right now. So those are my thoughts on this game, man. Those are my thoughts on this game. Those are my thoughts on this slate. Like I said, nothing I feel really, really strong about, but I just kind of wanted to break it down, let y'all know what I was looking at. Let me check the comment section and I'm gonna get up out of here. 62 people watching right now, man. If y'all enjoying the content, if y'all appreciate the show, if you want to show me some appreciation, hit the like button for me if you can. Share the show with your coworkers, your family, anybody you know that's trying to cash tickets in the NBA. Let's see what we on. Chris, you to go. Maximum love and respect. Salute from Cali Bay area, always tapping in. I appreciate that, Bala Vision. Definitely appreciate that. Cali up early again. I see you've been asleep yet. Hey, I appreciate people for tapping in with me early, man. Especially if you're on a whole different time coast. I'm in Virginia over here, but I appreciate you guys for tapping in. It's 7 a.m., but it's 4 a.m. where you guys are. Definitely appreciate that. Bane's 5 threes cash last night. Yeah, Bane hit 6 last night, man. I'll sleep after Chris drops his best bet, so I can tell. I don't have a best bet right now, but I really don't, man. I really don't. I think if I'm taking anything, I'm taking Toronto. Oh, so the total just came out and it's already getting steamed towards the under. Toronto, Washington, another total that's dropping live. 224.5, man. I like it. I like the under on Toronto and Washington. I like that game to go under 224.5. It just dropped. It looked like it opened at 226. It's already down to 224, at least based on the Wager Talk live odds. I do think this game is going to be about, first team rock fight type game. First team to about 105 points will win the game. Maybe 108 to 105, something like that is what I anticipate this score being for the Toronto Washington game today. And like I said, I like Toronto. If I had to pick any side today, I am picking Toronto. I think if Porzingis gets ruled in, because he missed, the last few games, you probably get a better number with Toronto. And some money probably gonna come in on Washington. I can't back the Wizards without Monte Morris and Toronto needing to win these games. This team is outside of the playoffs right now, trying to stack up wins. So I lean Toronto. I talked about Washington struggling against teams that actually play defense. Give me Toronto in this one. That would be my best bet of the day if I had one. I'd be taking the Raptors for everything that I just said. Ballot, just because you here, man, I appreciate you. Let's see what else before I get out of here. Blazers sold in that fourth quarter. Yeah, man, the Blazers are tough, man. The Pelicans are tough and the Blazers are tough. Two teams I want to fade, so I didn't play either one. I know I talked about liking the home team, the Portland Trail Blazers. Simons came back yesterday and then got hurt. Only played about 20 minutes. Zach Collins not Zach Collins. What's his name? The center. Drew Eubanks got in foul trouble. Couldn't really dominate the paint like I thought he would with no Valanciunas. It was a weird game last night. Shout out to whoever that was yesterday. Said Simon's under was a lock. It for sure was. I got the live at plus money at 14.5. That's a nice look. Nice look by you. What up, LJ? Knicks cashed us in last night. Knicks definitely did. Let's see. Anything y'all else on? I missed 3 parlays by one leg. The Bulls Pistons didn't go under. Tell me about it, Derek. And what up, though, to you too, Derek. Let's see. Boston did me dirty last night. I talked about not messing with Boston. They didn't cover by 1 point after covering the whole fourth quarter. It was crazy. That's why I told you guys yesterday. If it looks like a toss-up, I'm just staying away from it. I'm just trying to cash, man. I'm not trying to, give out a lot of plays. Derek said 10 games tomorrow. I'm coming for blood. Okay. We definitely going to get there tomorrow. Shout out to the OG Wham. Shout out to my guy Wham. Hard to bet against the Mavs at home. I don't think so, Anthony. I think the Sixers could win that game today. I'm not really interested in the side. I got to, see what Embiid's going to do. The Mavs just don't play enough defense for me, man. They just lost to the Pacers outright as 9-point favorites. I can't get there with the Mavs. Desperation spot, sure, you could say, but desperation means you got to play defense, and I don't think this Mavs team can guard anybody. So Raptors Wizards total just opened at 225. It's down to 224. If you want the Raptors and the Wizards to go under, go ahead and take it now. I might put a sprinkle on it. It's not something that I think is going to be the top play. I like the Raptors more so than I like the under, but I do like both. I hope that makes sense. I would be taking the Raptors first, and the spread is moving towards Toronto minus the 1.5. So hopefully it drops back down because I haven't played that yet. But I talked about 3 plays in that game. Wizards first quarter on the spread, Raptors full game, and the under are what I think happened in that game. Derek said I might stay off the entire card today. Couldn't talk anybody off staying off the entire card. Could not talk anybody off staying off the entire card. I actually don't like this card a lot either, and I'm not going to force anything either. All of these will be smaller plays for me. Half unit plays, maybe even some quarter unit plays, because we've been winning lately, and I'm trying to keep it up. I'm not trying to lose my money to the books, man. Not trying to give it back. It's nothing for donation over here. What's up from VA, bro? I'm glad I stayed off the Blazers. Yeah, for sure. What up, Tariq? A double for Luka. Maybe with rebounds, Luka has not been hitting his assist line. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. Luka assists have not been cashing with Kyrie being there. And the Sixers also allow, I think, the fewest assists to point guards. So that might be something to look at. Maybe Luka assists under could be in play tonight. I got to look a little bit more into that. I'm gonna write that one down. Luka assists under, just based on what we just kind of came up with. Let's see. Luka assists under. Okay. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay. Mitchell Robinson came to play last night. He did. Yeah. What up, Fremont? Yeah. All right. So real quick, man. I've been on here for 20 minutes. Let me go back through and tell you guys what I'm looking at. I don't have an official play. No official plays for me yet. But let's see. I got a banner for that too. Best bet of today pending at the bottom. If I see something that I like, I'll probably even pin it to the YouTube comment section, but I also put it on Twitter as well. Um, Raptors and Wizards game, I just talked about it. Raptors, the only side for me. Wizards might come out with something early, first quarter, first half is what I'd be looking at if I wanted to play the Wizards. Also think this game goes under the total. It's already dropping to 224. It opened at 226 is what I'm looking at. Philly and Dallas kind of got to wait for Embiid. I think that game goes over because Dallas isn't stopping anybody recently. Philly plays faster on the road than they do at home as well. Uh, Indiana and San Antonio, not a game that I'm really interested in. Had a top play, it would be the under the 239 is what I see the best number at right now. And then Clippers and Golden State. I lean Clippers, not playing it. Also lean under in that game. It's at 234. Both teams play tomorrow. So that's what I got for you guys. Like I said, man, if you guys are enjoying the content, please consider hitting the like button, showing some support. Best of luck to you guys. I'll be back at 5:30. Crispy Cap and NBA show. Until then, I'm out.